Tell me to start earlier.
Okay,
Okay.
setting it up. Done.
Hi, I am Linda Deer, and this guy right here.
This guy over here is the keeper of all of the research in the lindadeer.com library. It's kind of like the Vatican Library, only a little smaller.
Ray lives in this world, and I live in the world over here, the one we came from, you guys. And that's really how we do these on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Okay, so we're going to get started. And once again, we always love being with you guys here on Tuesdays to go over these insights that my spirit guides, we channel this information from my spirit guides about the world that we're living in now. And here we go. Welcome to episode number 279 of Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, a weekly gift of guidance from my spirit guides on navigating the uncertain world you are now living in, published every Tuesday since 2014. Tonight, the guides will be talking about proactive or reactive. One just takes longer than the other. The takeaway from this week's episode is you have a choice to be proactive or reactive with your life. Reactive people like to daydream and imagine. Proactive people have a vision for their future and willingly make the sacrifices to get there. The difference is that one person dreams about it while the other is living the dream every day. So, even though the result is the same, one person is reactive to life and the other is proactive. When it comes to these differences, one style is not better than the other. It's just that it will take the reactive person longer to get to their desired destination than the proactive person. It's all about your attitude toward change. And I'm just going to read the part where I wrote the end of this. I'm reading you the channeled part, and I'm really only reading you an excerpt of the entire insight. So be sure to go to lindasdeer.com and sign up for Linda's weekly guided insights. It's priceless and delivered to your email box every Tuesday. So, how it works: change is inevitable. You will always be changing with it. The only question is, will you wait to change or will you embrace it? So even though both people wind up in the same place, one will enjoy the journey while the other may struggle to catch up. Think about that. If you're struggling to catch up, you've been resisting something, you've been reactive. What you guys need to do with this information that we're talking about today is you need to examine where you're proactive and where you're reactive, because you can't see it when you're in it. And until you write it down, can you get it out of here where the struggle resides onto the pages? That's why I wrote these journals. Use these journals to track your daily, I'll call it habits, okay, and progress. We go back and forth. We have progress, we're doing really well, and then we have something that comes up where we realize we still have some work to do. It's true with all of us. All right, so one just takes longer than the other, and all I want to say about that, I've got one word for that. In my opinion, ouch. One takes longer than the other. Oh my gosh, I don't want things to take longer. I want to get through them. I want to move through them, and I want to live the life I intended, not something where I'm holding back and I'm resisting whatever's coming in my way, and I'm not trusting my guidance. I'm not trusting myself. I doubt, or something like that. Okay, so those are the kind of things you need to write down in your journal so you can begin to catch yourself doing it. You are your own parent now. Okay? It'll move you right out of being reactive to proactive and living the life you intended, the one you planned with your spirit guides before you came here. Okay, so Ray, what do we have there?
What do we have? We have a comment from Viola.
All right.
Viola says, last year, let me turn my light over here. There. Last year, I did a master class in change management. It was all about manipulating people to get them to do something by using tactics to push or pull them into doing it. Not much different from what's going on now worldwide. Yeah, or what you see on advertising
Yeah, it's
every
not what
day.
you didn't sign up for it,
Right,
but here we are,
here we are.
Okay.
So you can study um, the light out of your eyes. That's a Dutch expression, I think, on how to change people, but it is the free will that is the master of all changes that start voluntarily from the inside out. So what she's saying is you always have a choice, no matter how people are trying to manipulate you. You always have a choice.
You're in charge. Free will.
You're in charge. Yep.
Okay. That's why you can do this either way. You can be reactive, it's your choice, or proactive, that's also your choice. Okay, go
Right.
ahead, Ray.
All right. Linda Deer said, well said, Viola. First, a person must be willing to change. And if the desire is strong enough, free will is an automatic response. A person won't make proactive changes when the desire is weak or missing. Yeah, that's true.
Right. And if you're making a change that you're not real committed to, you won't stick with it. Okay. That's another place where when you write it down, you guys, the power in writing down what you're working out in your life. We're all on this journey together, okay? We're all working something out. Or you want to know what? You wouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. If you were done with all this, you would be gone. You'd be done. You would have been released from your body, and you would be back where you started before this life. Okay?
So I think a lot of people have trouble figuring out if they're reactive or proactive.
I think
I
so.
think everybody's a little bit of both, but they lean one
Absolutely.
way or the other.
Or there's times when you're proactive, you're all in, you've got this thing. And then sometimes, I don't know, something happens, you get tired or you have a setback and you get reactive and something happens in the world and it really bothers you and you react. Okay, setback, but it's hard to it being in this world, that's an easy thing to fall back into. Okay? That's for sure. We've all learned that in the last year and a half, right? Yeah,
Yeah, take a look back at how you were 12 to 18 months ago,
right.
before everything changed.
Y-
Okay, think about the things you did then, and then what happened to make them stop. What you did is you reacted to this pandemic or this, the lockdowns, the this, the that, that came along. Um, that was reactive on most people. They didn't think it through.
You didn't really. It wasn't fair. You didn't have a chance to think it through.
Right.
It was like a bomb was dropped on everybody around the world. How the heck could you think it through? You had to see it through. You had to move through it with everybody, like all of us did, and still are. Okay, it's not like everything's gone back to normal, right?
Nothing's ever going back to normal.
Yeah. So, this thing about being proactive or reactive, I got to tell you something. You got to start writing down what's going on with you. That's proactive. I don't care how angry you are about what you're writing, it's still proactive. I don't care how clear you are. Of course, you're proactive. Okay. The, Even when you're reactive, when you take the moment, the 15 minutes a day to write down what's bugging you, what's causing you to react, you're proactive with your reaction.
Yeah, this whole thing, the biggest gift that humans have is free will.
It is.
Okay, I don't know how many other species have it, free will.
Right.
I mean,
It's true, Ray.
yeah, you choose to do something or not do it. I think a lot of it is based on the words you use. You know, you hear somebody say something on TV, a fear bomb, comes out. Oh, there's all these new variants of the virus.
Or whatever it happens to be.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Somebody shot a bunch of people.
yeah,
Whatever it happens to be. Okay.
right,
There's
right,
all kinds of trauma and drama going on for your entertainment.
right,
Okay.
exactly.
Much of it. So it's, I mean, is it really that much fun to the reporters, the news anchors, to tell all these gory stories to you? But you know what? There's a reason the news channels do that. There's a number of reasons why they do that. But one is to entertain you.
And the other one's to keep you in fear.
Well, that's right. Keep you, control you, and entertain you. You wouldn't watch the news if it wasn't newsworthy. I mean, what's newsworthy anymore? The truth? No. The fear, all the hype and all the terrible things that happen. Okay.
Yeah,
And the way they're trying to bend you to think. Okay, that's you guys, you got to write this stuff down. You can't have any control over your life. And believe me, you have free will. You have all the control. They may be saying you don't have the control and this will happen to you and this. No, 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 no. Start writing down what's going on with you for 15 minutes a day, and that's control in itself. Okay? That would scare the controllers to see that you're doing this.
okay.
That's
So
how I grew up at 7 years old, because I grew up in a horrendous childhood. The only control I really had was when I had this conversation with myself, a conversation. And when I did that, my guidance came through and infiltrated my writing. I would see where their wisdom was coming through like automatic writing. You guys, once you start doing this, it's going to be contagious. Okay? You're going to love doing this every day, but do it in a quiet place where no one is around, or it won't work. And never show anybody what you're writing in your journals, or you'll start to water down what you're writing. And that'll defeat the entire purpose of doing it.
So you have a choice to be, first thing the guide said, you have a choice to be proactive or reactive. So the reactive person really doesn't have to think much. They just react to what they're
They
told.
just blow up
They just decide, well, yeah, somebody told me to do that, I'll do that.
haphazard.
Right? I don't understand why we should do that, but you know, they're on TV and they're telling us.
They're not thinking for themselves. You know why they're not thinking for themselves? They're not writing it down. When you write it down, you cannot help but have this conversation with yourself and guidance. It's an opportunity for them to slip in and help you.
But if the average person uses words like, well, I should do that, or I could do that, or maybe I
That's
would do that, but
That'll never work.
until you say, I will do that, are you exercising free will?
Absolutely. I'm on it. I've got this thing. I'm
Well,
going there.
okay, so your will, you heard the phrase a strong willed person. They have a strong will. They enforce their free will. They stick by their convictions.
And they get things done.
They get things done. And then,
They live the dream every single day.
okay, so to the last point the guys talked about was contemplate where you are right now to determine how you want the rest of your life to go. Well, most people probably want the rest of their life to go a lot different than the way it's gone the last 18 months.
Right.
Okay, so what is that? I mean, first, um, you have to have a vision of it.
Yeah. Hello? You have to write it down. Write down what you see for your life. You guys, there's this thing about ask and you shall receive. This
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about asking ties right into where Ray's taken us.
Okay, so first thing you should do write down is what was your life like 12 to 18 months ago before all this chaos happened, right? How was it? How'd you feel about it? What did you do? You know,
So ask yourself those questions
and write it
and write
down.
them down.
Okay, and
Yes.
then ask yourself, if 12 to 18 months from now nothing changes or gets worse, what is my life going to look like then?
Write that down.
Right. And you got to focus on the focus with intent on what you want your future to be.
The only way you can see what that is, see, you guys, you can't see it when you're in it. You can't. Your guides can see it. Your guides, my spirit guide, they can see it. That's why you need to be accessing this guidance to help you along to live the best life. Because you know what? Your guides, your planned this life with you. They know exactly what you came here to do, but you got the amnesia. Okay. So they didn't get it. They don't have the amnesia. They didn't get that. So they have all the power to point you in the right direction. But you have free will. You have to choose to go that way or not. So, how are you going to put this all together? Write it down. That's how I did it as a little kid. At 7 years old, I started writing in my journal about the messed up family I was in and how the hell am I going to get through this? What's going on here? Why am I stuck in this dysfunction? Why are they all working against me? What's going on? And I'll tell you what, when I was writing down in my journal, questioning why, I was had all these questions, mostly why questions. Why? Little kids, that's what we do. We should do it as adults, by the way. And as I put all these whys down, the answers started coming through, and I said, wrote down. They didn't come from me. They came through me from guidance, from those who followed me here and guided me, hence the name of my flagship book, Guided, throughout my life. You guys have the same guidance. It's time to access it. You guys, we're in some pretty radical times. Very, very radical. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You better start becoming conscious of yourself in the throes of the life that we're in. Because you know what? There's a reason you're here. And it's not just to get angry about what's going on it's not fair and you can't go to dinner with your friends. No. You came here for a huge reason that you've been missing. Until you start writing it down, you've got the time to do it now. Write it down. In fact, here's what I want to encourage you to do. Start doing this for yourself and then show your kids how to do this. Show your grandkids how to do this. So they don't wind up mentally off. Because you know what? This will drive you nuts, the world we're in right now. If you don't have a solution, a method, a system, this is the guided journal writing system, a proprietary system that I created from writing guided, from all the fans of guided coming to me. Linda, I want to learn what guided teaches. Bam, came these journals. This is it.
Okay, so we've determined a couple things: that it's easier to be a reactive person than it is to be a proactive person. The reactive person's like you like to say, the leading a pinball life. Like the pinball gets smacked this way and that way, and ding, bang, ding,
No
ding, ding,
control
ding,
over
ding,
your life.
and then one day it just slides down into the hole. Okay,
Your fate,
yeah, and then it gets snapped back out and banged around again.
You feel like you're
You
going.
feel like a pinball.
I know.
But the proactive person has a vision of their future that's different than how it is now. They're willing to make first of all, they're willing to take a stand. And
True.
Right, they're willing to take a stand for what they believe, and then they're willing to make the sacrifices in order to achieve what they envision.
That's right.
That's a lot of work.
No, it's not.
Well, it isn't. It is for a lot of people.
When your heart, here's why the work, it's not a lot of work. When your heart is in what this is, whatever this is, that like what Ray talked about, the way he expressed it, when you feel it in your heart, when it's part of your DNA, you got to see this thing through. How are you going to do it? You don't have there's things called business plans, all these plans people make. But until you know who you are and why you're here, that's where this is going to pay off for you in spades. Okay. This is going to show you things that when you started writing, you never expected to see. You're going to be amazed, because you're going to be amazed at how well this works. The people that I've worked with, trained, and since these came out in 2018, they work in them every day, every single day. They never miss a day. Write your dreams down. Driving your car somewhere, you had this insight. Wow. You write it down, flush it out. There's 4 qualifying questions with each journal entry that these journals move you through. Write it down, and then once you write it down and really write the whole thing down, then the next question is, how did that make you feel? And I mean, the consciousness resides in the details. So writing down how it made you feel with detail, not just, oh, it's so nice, it was fine. No, that you'll get nothing out of it. Don't even bother. Okay. You've got to really write out the details of how it makes you feel, what you wrote down. And the third qualifying question is, what do you realize? That's the freebie that just shows up once you move through how it felt and really discover how it felt and wrote down what that was. It's a freebie for the third qualifying question. You're going to know because you're going to realize something. And then the final question is, what action are you going to take? You could never even imagine the action if you didn't work through the process of writing it down and really drilling into how it feels, having that realization and the fire to move on it. That's the action. This journal writing system will change your life forever. You will have the answers when you need them. You won't flounder anymore. You won't think anything's wrong with you, because nothing's wrong with you. Okay, Ray. Okay. So do we have this now, Ray?
We got it.
Okay. Okay. So I love this. Just love this. And I know you guys can do this. I know you can. I can't imagine not taking the initiative to start doing this. Okay. But for any of you who don't know who I am and you're just hearing this for the first time, do read Guided first. This is how I did it. I have Guided's available on Amazon, iTunes, and Audible in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. And I read the book myself. All right. So that's going to give you the power to take the action for yourself. Okay. Okay. So we're going to close the session with the closing message from the spirit guides. But before we do that, I've got one announcement. Okay. Join us next Tuesday, April 27th, for episode number 280 of Linda's Weekly Guided Insights with me, Ray, and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time on my Facebook page, Facebook timeline, and YouTube channel. Use the search term Linda Deer. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, my spirit guides will be talking about different levels of intuition. The takeaway from next week's episode is you will understand how to interpret what your intuition is telling you. As we have said before, intuition is the ability to make decisions without all the analysis and reasoning. The trick is to be able to recognize how intuition works and what gets in the way. One of the higher forms of intuition is the ability to see outside of the 3D world you are living in. You will also be able to hear the guidance or messages from the other side. Intuition is not an option, you guys. You guys were born with it. It's one of your gifts and talents that you were pre wired with. Okay. It's like your GPS. It's time to start using it. And when you start writing in your journal each day for just 15 minutes a day, it's your time. It's my time. It's me time. Let yourself have that time. It's going to pay off. Okay. And if my work has changed your life in any way, tell your like minded friends about what we do. Send them to my website right there on the homepage. Pretty much covers everything that we do. All right. Okay. Anytime you access your guides, anytime you sit with your journal, you start with your journal. You start writing in your journal. Okay. You pull it out and you get your pen and you start to write. Before you start writing, loosen up your body. Breathe. Breathe your life force back in. Okay. So that the information and what you're going to write is going to flow beautifully. Never question what you write. Never rewrite it. None of that. Write it like it happened. Write it from feeling, not from emotion. And if you don't understand the difference between that, join us. Keep joining us on Tuesdays. We're going to help you understand that, all right? Okay, Ray. Okay, so proactive or reactive? One just takes longer than the other. And I got to repeat this. Ouch. Okay, and here they go.
One thing is always happening, and that's change. Change cannot be stopped. Change either happens to you or for you, depending on your vision and perspective. You know the type of people who allow things to happen to them. The poor me crowd. You also know the people who make change happen for them. The I can evolve from it.
Crowd.
Not as big a crowd. It's the other one.
I have faith in these guys. Yes, it happens fast when you start to do your journal writing each day.
If you are living a life thinking that what's going to happen to me today, you have the wrong perspective on life. You fail to acknowledge that you do have free will, a powerful tool that allows you to shape your future. The action to stop people and things that are harmful to you comes from your resolve and free will. Most of the people who wait for things to happen to them find out those are hardly ever good things. It requires you to compromise or give up something so you can feel a sense of safety, mostly a false illusion of safety. Just like in Linda's book, a bully only comes back again and again when they see what they did met no resistance. Here's a phrase we want you to use as a change mantra. Whatever I allow to exist in my life will persist in my life. Someday you will have your I've had it day and implement free will.
And I want you guys to know something. You might not be doing it right now in any large way, but you're going to be. Because the change that's going to happen in this world is going to come from you.
Right.
That's where it's going to come from. It's not going to come from the politicians or some law that they make or, extra money they give you, unemployment, free unemployment. I don't know, whatever it is.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
It's not going to come from something outside of you that's going to solve all your problems, some pharmaceutical drug, I mean, it's not going to be, it's going to come from you. And how is it going to come from you? How in the world could you ever be that powerful? Write it down. You're going to start having this conversation with yourself, and you're going to see it on the pages. It's going to show up. It's going to show up on the pages. And what you're going to do is you're going to write it down day after day, 15 minutes a day of me time, 15 minutes a day of having a conversation with yourself, 15 minutes a day of the automatic writing that slips in from your guides that you never expected, the bonus, the freebie. As you write it down and you catch yourself doing something not so good and then doing something fabulous, finding out who you are. Okay, this is the person that's emerging that from the pages that's going to be the change that's going to happen in this world. All right, you, all of us use. Okay, and then what you're going to do when you're done writing these things down, you write day after day after day after. You're going to go back and you're going to, a week from now, a couple weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now, you're going to review what you wrote, and you're going to see like the yellow brick road, like connecting the dots, like a daisy chain. You're going to see how everything that you wrote down is connected, every single thing on your journey. My guided journey, your journey. And you're going to be blown away. Okay. You're going to be back in your power, and look out, world, because your free will is going to be activated and you're going to have the power to take charge of your life and live the life that you intended before you came here.
That's how you came in. You came in a powerful person. Everybody forgot about. Think of the little toddler that an adult says, "You're going to do this," and what do they? And they cross their arms and they stomp their feet and they go, "No."
Okay, now let me tell.
That's the person you need to return to.
That's the free will.
Right.
That's a little bit, the child also needs to acclimate to this world, but not strip the child from who its essence is, which is what's been going on since humanity has existed.
Yeah.
So this is a big fault in the way that we are living our lives, you guys. It's if you don't write it down, you're not going to see it. You can't see it when you're in it. Once you review what you wrote a week, 2 weeks, a month later, you're going to be shocked at exactly what's happening in your life. And whatever you do, keep your guidance to yourself. This is guidance. This is inner guidance. This is guidance coming through your spirit guides. It's all there, but you have to take your free will and move that way. That's all you have to do. And show up on Tuesdays with us, and we'll keep the fire going in you guys, okay? I will. That's my promise to you.
Learn to say no. Enough is enough.
Remember, you are never alone and always being guided.